Hi, I'm Terryanne Chebet. Welcome to my channel, and today I will be sharing from an article I wrote on Medium a couple of weeks ago, and the title is What to Do When You Lose Your Job. I have gone through the experience of being affected in a retrenchment exercise, and given that so many people are currently going through it now, a couple of people reached out to me and said, hey, how did you deal with it? Can you talk and share? So I decided to do an article that has been reshared so many times, and I believe for those of you who do not read, hopefully you'll watch the video, and please subscribe and share. So, there's many things that you feel once you first lose your job. For many it's such a confusing time. The feelings can be very intense, very confusing. There's shock, there's betrayal, there's anger, there's denial, and that could for many people just push you into self-pity and wallowing in that self-pity. And it's fine for a bit. You can get angry, you can be in denial, but you must tell yourself to quickly get out of it, because once you stay there for too long, it might be hard to get out. So I'd like to share some of the key lessons that I've learned over the years and what it took to get me back on my feet. So number one is take control of your budget. This includes writing down every single cost that you have. And I know it's not always easy when we say the word budget, but put your spending plan. What do you spend on food? What do you spend on entertainment? What do you spend on your rent? What do you spend on? Just write every single cost that you spend. And make sure you have your budget at your fingertips, because that will usually guide you, and your mind will be always alert on how you're spending your money. Number two is downsizing. And, because the fact is that you don't have a salary anymore, then you must begin to live within your means. And your means now, let's be honest about that, your means has shrunk. So for me, once what I needed to do, moved out to a cheaper place, basically cut down on some of the things that I felt that we didn't really need, and just put a pause button and said, when things get better, then we can go back to that. One of the things that I did as well and stopped was a traditional family lunch that we used to have on Sundays, and during that time I completely stopped, and it's only when I got back on my feet financially is when I started it again. Number three, restructure your debt. I mean, many of us who, especially if you have family and you're just in that space, you have taken a loan of some sort. For me, it was for many things, including putting a roof and a ceiling for my mom. So it was, quite a sizable debt. Not too crazy. That's what happens when you have a child in the house. But I'll continue. So restructuring your debt is one. Yeah, I'm busy, mommy. Number three, restructure your debt. If you're in any kind of debt, whether it is a loan that you took from the bank, mobile loan, basically any loan that you have, make sure you go to the bank and just ask them or talk to them about your situation and try to see and push and negotiate for a restructuring of the repayment. Thankfully, my loan had been insured, so I had 9 months to plan on how to repay it. And one of the hardest things to do, when you have a loan, is getting phone calls, and you just don't want to be the person that's disappearing on the people that you owe. So pick up your calls. If possible, tell them beforehand that this is what has happened. I've received a letter. It will affect my financial status, so these are the expectations. Communication changes everything. Don't switch off your phone, and don't stop picking up their calls. Number four, health insurance and savings. Whatever you do, ensure that you have a health cover for your family. Sickness often comes at the times we don't expect it, and making sure that you have your NHIF payments on track. And I know people who have just relied on NHIF in such and it has made such an incredible impact on health payments, because they kept their NHIF payments on track. So whatever you do, do not let go of your NHIF, and it's not expensive. So just, if there's anything you must do, ensure that your family and yourself, you're covered. And the mobile payments now make it so much easier to make sure that your NHIF payments are on track, and there's so much flexibility in that space. And if you can afford a different kind of insurance, not necessarily just NHIF, please, feel free to do that, because health insurance is one of the most important insurances for you to have. Rewrite your own strategic plan. If you're in corporate or, even in any kind of business, most businesses would have a strategic plan. But do you have your own strategic plan? Please go online, find some, templates for strategic plans, and there are many. And just start. It might take you 2 days, 3 days, but make sure it doesn't take more than a week, because that will really help you restructure. Because, you've set the reset button and you'll be like, do I need to go back to work? And if I need to go back to work, what do I need to do? If you want to go into business, into consulting, just write your strategic plan and say where you want to go. If in 5 years you need to build a house, in 10 years you need to have retired, in whatever number of years you want to have a farm, all the dreams and things that you want to have. And that will help you decide at this point, what do I really need to do in order to get there? And then you work backwards from it. So this is one of the most important things that I learned and that I had to do for myself. And then if you decide you're going to employment, this is the time to update and clean your CV and your online presence. And that would be LinkedIn to start with. And Twitter is also an important place to make sure you're very visible. If you know somebody who can help you, just look at your CV and really touch it up. And there's many places online that you can see how great CVs are done. And chances are, if you've been employed for a very long time, the last time you probably looked at your CV was a long time ago. And a lot has changed in terms of how a CV is formatted, the information that you put in there. And if it is on LinkedIn, then there's even more, the kind of buzzwords that you need to use to make sure that if you're looking for a job, then the right people can find you. So make sure, just, do that immediately. Get a good picture taken, and it's so cheap, affordable these days, to get a really good studio photo, and make sure that your online presence is clean. If there's anything you need to delete, because we know some people, we mess around, say things we shouldn't say on social media. Now's the time if you're looking for a job or to get into employment. And it also gives you a chance to actually get in at a higher level. I feel that, sometimes employment sort of locks us into small spaces. If you're in middle management, sometimes the ceiling is really literally just here. And stepping out sometimes gives us a chance to actually go a step above. So, if you have to do an online course, if you have to go to school, just anything else to build your skills, so that when you're looking, you're actually looking for something above what you used to do. I know that sometimes you think, because I was retrenched, I need to go to a lower position. Absolutely not. It doesn't take away your experience. It doesn't take away, what you have learned through those years. So sometimes it's a chance to, step out to step up. Now is the time to network with industry peers, whether you're getting into entrepreneurship or consulting or trying to get back into the 9-to-5 grind. This is the time to recreate your networks. Sometimes being in a job really closes us. We're so busy, you work, by the time it's 5 o'clock, you just want to go home and rest. And for those who enjoy to go to the bar, thankfully now with COVID, 9 o'clock you have to be out or you have to be home. So find a way to just reconnect with industry peers. Make sure that they know that you are in the space and that you're looking for something, for work or for consulting. And it's usually quite strange, because this is a time, sometimes you want to stay away because you don't want many questions about what happened, why did you lose your job, But just, suck it up, be bold about it, go out and say, knock on every door that you can. And there's no shame in asking. Another very important thing is to build your personal brand. I've said it many times. You may be the best at what you do, but are you visible? And now's the time to take advantage of the social media space to create your visibility, to shape yourself as a thought leader in whatever space that you want to be known for, or what to be known as. So use your social media assets to grow your personal brand. It could be YouTube, it could be Twitter, where you decide, you're looking at global trends and you make a commentary. It doesn't have to be in video. It could be, just 140 words, characters. What's the characters? Characters on Twitter. And then LinkedIn is an incredible place to also share your experience. Just, let people see that this beautiful mind that you have. And now is the time to really do that. So remember, also in personal branding, you have to take a really good professional photograph. I know we have good phones these days, but it really makes a big difference if you go to a studio. I know studios these days charge about 300 shillings for a really, really good photograph, which you can, have it resized in whichever way you want, and they can even touch it up with Photoshop. Get physically active. Physical activity does more to us than just, put our bodies in shape. It's a great way to energize both your mind and your body. It improves our brain health, our memory as well, and it also helps keep chronic diseases at bay. So you can start slowly. Maybe I'll walk for 30 minutes in the evening, I'll jog in the morning, just try and get into that space. And it also just works in such a great way in clearing your mind and opening you up to new opportunities, because your mind is less clogged. And anyway, you try it and then you let me know. So a job loss is never easy. However, understanding that it happens to many people in their career and accepting it allows you to heal faster and allows you to also begin to see opportunities out there. It allows us to say, that door's closed, now's a new time to open other doors. So stay positive no matter what. And also, just a quick tip for those who are still in employment, and not to be negative about it, but you just never know. So this is an incredible time to begin to think of multiple sources of income. I'm a complete believer in creating multiple streams of income, and I'll do a blog about. I'll do a video about it soon, in terms of how can you create this multiple streams of income without without burnout, without spreading yourself too thin, and so save up, build skills and knowledge, and if your job allows, do create multiple streams of income. So next week I'll also be sharing a video on 5 tips in managing your personal finances if you're out of a job. Although it's for all of us, but if you are, it's specifically targeted, and it's a follow-up to this particular video, because one of the questions I've been asked a lot is, how did you manage your finances? And it's not easy, but it can be done, and it's a struggle, but it's a good struggle, because you learn so much along the way. So thank you so much for watching. I hope, if you like the video, please click the like button and do share. Sharing is caring, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much, and have a blessed week.